Welcome back to Gun Tote Minnesotan. Today we're taking a look at an optic sent out to the channel by CVLIFE. This is their 3-9 by 40, and this model comes packaged really well. As you can see, lots of foam, high density foam to protect it. The first thing I noticed was the manual, and the manual is very good. This is going to tell you lots of pertinent information, like what is the reticle like, what focal plane is it in, what kind of coatings they use on the lenses. This one happens to be fully multi-coated. What is the eye relief like? That's important depending on what kind of rifle you're going to mount it on and the distance you have. The diameter of the tube, that'll let you know about the rings, which are included, and things like this. The adjustments are in quarter MOA. Those are important things to know as you're zeroing your optics. So don't skip over this. If you're not sure about the parts of an optic, this is an important thing for you to study and understand what each part does. Like I said, it is packaged well. I'm going to put this aside, and inside the bag that it comes in, there's a couple extras in here. So, first of all, I can see that there is a lens cloth underneath. So let's go ahead and tear that open. Here's our tool for adjustments on the rings. There's your lens cleaning cloth, a dry pack, another adjustment tool. This one we'll talk about in a second. And the optic itself. As you can see, this one came with the rings installed. I think I actually have one of the Torx right here to go ahead and tighten down when I'm finished. This one actually comes with flip caps. So some come with bikini covers, and this one comes with flip caps, which is a really nice upgrade. The quality feels very good. Very good quality of the flip caps. The rings are kind of like a high setting. They're in between maybe a medium and a high, but I don't think you're going to have clearance issues on most setups because the bell itself is not going to interfere with the rail on most of your setups out there unless you have a really big fat barrel, but I don't think you are if you're mounting a 3-9. It's nice that the optic came with the rings attached, but remember, it's your responsibility to go ahead and check the torque specs for these to not tighten them too much or too little, especially considering what kind of rifle you're going to throw it on. I'm probably going to throw this on some sort of center fire, perhaps a 308 maybe, and I don't want to just take it from the factory and throw it on there. I want to make sure I tighten these down properly, not too tight because it'll crush your image, and not too loose because the scope will be able to move with recoil. So that's on you as the consumer. I'm going to take off these scope cap covers just for a second so you can understand what's underneath. Underneath, this is your diopter adjustment. So as I move it to the left, it'll change the cleanness or clarity of the reticle, not the image. The image is a fixed parallax. This is fixed parallax at 100 yards. And so this is only adjusting for your eye and the reticle itself. The proper way to adjust a diopter adjustment like this, is to look at a blue sky or a blank wall for just moments at a time. And when you're not looking at it, just make little adjustments and then go take a peek again until the reticle itself is clear. And then you're going to leave it. So if it was right there, leave it and throw your caps on, and it's going to help it from getting bumped. But it is probably a proper tightness and firmness. I don't think this is going to move on its own. You shouldn't have any issues with that at all. You can see that there is calibration or numerical, let's see, a numerical pattern there. So you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this reticle is going to make sense on 9 power. You should be zeroing this optic on 9 power and not on 3 power. 3 power might be great for hunting, or you're in the woods, or something that's just really, really close and you want to mitigate parallax issue errors because it's parallax set at 100 yards. So maybe you want to look at 3 power or shoot at something very close at 3 power and clear up your image at 25 yards. But if you are zeroing, you zero at 100 yards to make that reticle make sense, and you have to do it at 9 power. That is what the reticle is calibrated for. And if you do any shooting at a lesser power, the reticle is no longer going to match up with that calibration. So 9 power is where that is going to work out for you. Otherwise, you'll have a change in point of impact. Taking a look at underneath the turrets. There you go. This is really neat. So underneath the cap, which has a nice, good texture. It's a very uniform texture to the scallops you find at other places. It's good aggressive texturing. These turrets right here are actually pretty decent, especially considering at the price point. These should probably leave nothing to be desired. This is exactly the kind of thing you would hope for underneath a cap turret like that. They're tactile, they're very clicky and positive, and you are going to be able to use the numbers to find out, well, how many minutes of angle have I adjusted? As you can see, you have your full minutes, and then in between those are 1/4 inch clicks. And on the top, it tells you that 1 click is a 1/4 inch at 100 yards. Because remember, a minute of angle at 100 yards is right around 1 inch. And so when you're zeroing this, you want to zero it at 100 yards. And then as you're making adjustments, if you see your first bullet impact is 2 inches off, then you know you need 8 clicks to change it and get it accurized to your point of impact as the same as your point of aim. Windage is going to provide you with the same thing and the same information and the same angulature measurement and change for corrections. Now let's go ahead and get this mounted on a rifle and see how it does at 100 yards. From the CVLIFE.com website, here are some of the product specs. First of all, if you're going to search the website, this is called the CVLIFE 3-9x40 scope BDC reticle optics with 20mm scope rings. The package weight is 0.73 kilograms. The item dimensions are 14.57 by 3.54 by 2.95 inches. The brand is CVLIFE. The warranty is 1 year manufacturer style warranty. The model name is RR-40-RE-FL-3940. The color is black and it's an aluminum material. The manufacturer is also CVLIFE. The included components are the 3-9x40 scope, flip-up lens covers, Allen key, and then there's also 2 scope mounts for 20mm rings or Picatinny rings. You may be more familiar with that term. And the sport type that it's recommended for is air guns all the way up to 308s, which I've tested it on, and it handled the recoil just fine. As you can see, this optic has a lot going for it and a very accessible price point. If you're more interested in seeing some other options that CVLIFE has, whether it be a red dot, reflex sight, maybe accessories for a rifle or a pistol, you can head over to Amazon and also type in CVLIFE and see a whole lot of their variety there on the website, where you're going to be able to see all of their products and the full line of what they offer, and maybe some things yet to come.